Welcome to this session, where we unpack this intriguing digital audio program that's billed as a 7-minute sound frequency tool linked to ancient wisdom.
I'm eager to dive in. So, we're talking about a product that claims ancient sound frequencies from the Library of Alexandria, right?
Exactly. It's like this program promises that listening to a unique frequency for just 7 minutes every day could shift your mindset and even tweak your intuition by interacting with your brain's insula.
That's wild. But I guess the big question remains, are these claims founded on any real science, or is it more of a modern myth wrapped in ancient allure?
Well, the program's narrative does anchor itself on actual concepts. The insula is a genuine brain region, and there's research showing sound can influence mood. However, the specific claims here aren't backed by independent studies and rely heavily on the brand's own framework.
So we have a mix. Real neuroscience meets speculative narrative. Reminds me of like when you mix a solid fact with a dash of magic.
Precisely. The creator, Sam Langton, presents himself as this frustrated seeker of better self-help methods and then stumbles upon this frequency. But his background and professional credentials aren't exactly crystal clear, so there's this layer of mystery.
And that mystery can be a double-edged sword. I mean, for some it adds allure, while for others it just raises caution flags.
Right? And that's a critical point here. The review notes that if you value extensive scientific validation or verified credentials, this might not be your cup of tea because the claims heavily rely on the brand's personal narrative.
And it seems like the product is basically an audio download. There's no physical component, correct?
Exactly. Once purchased, you download a 7-minute audio track designed to be played daily via headphones. There's also a few bonus tracks like Manifest While You Sleep, Your Secret Psychic Power, and Your Genius Mind Unlocked.
Yep.
It's all digital.
That's interesting. So even though the core idea is a single frequency, they bundle it with extra content to appeal to different needs, like improved sleep or enhanced intuition.
Yes, it's a bit like adding bonus features in a smartphone update. You get the core functionality, but they throw in extras that promise, say, enhanced mental clarity or even unlocking a kind of secret psychic power to broaden its appeal.
Right. Now, pricing seems to be a talking point as well, with some sites showing $27 and others $37. That kind of inconsistency, what do you make of it?
Pricing variations like that are pretty common with digital products. It might be due to special promotions in some regions or even A/B testing on different pages. Either way, it's advised to confirm the exact price at checkout to avoid surprises.
And there's a hefty refund policy attached, a 365-day money-back guarantee. That seems generous, right?
Yes, on paper, a 1-year refund policy does offer a safety net. But remember, it doesn't guarantee that the effect promised will actually happen, just that you can get your money back if you're unsatisfied. It's more of a customer reassurance than evidence of efficacy.
So, it's as if the refund policy is there to cushion any disappointment if the sound frequency doesn't produce magic miracles.
Precisely. And this ties back to the broader issue within personal development products. There's no magic bullet. The benefits, such as relaxation, mindset shifts, or pattern interruption, are subjective and really vary by individual, and are more about creating a daily ritual than guaranteeing any concrete outcome.
Speaking of daily rituals, the program's simplicity, just press play for 7 minutes, might be a real draw for people who have found that more active methods didn't resonate with them.
Absolutely. For those who've tried active techniques like visualization or journaling and felt it was too much effort, the passive listening model is appealing because it lowers the barrier to routine engagement.
But here's a critical challenge. Doesn't that ease potentially lead to complacency? I mean, if you're just passively listening every day, are you really engaging with the deeper aspects of self-improvement?
That's a fair critique. It could be argued that active participation in visualization, affirmation, or actively directing your focus tends to cement change more robustly. The Alexandria Code banks on the idea that the frequency itself does the work, but without active engagement, maybe the outcomes might be more muted for certain individuals.
Exactly. And I imagine that user experience varies dramatically. Some might find the mere act of a daily ritual, even a passive one, enough to bring about a slight shift in mindset, while others might need more to see a real change.
Right, and that's why it's all about managing expectations. The review emphasizes that personal development results are not guaranteed, and they depend on the individual's context and consistency of use rather than
Yeah.
a universal transformation.
Now, let's talk about the brand's narrative. They tie in an ancient, almost mystical story with the Library of Alexandria. How much of that do you think is marketing flair versus actual credible history?
It definitely seems like a marketing strategy, a way to evoke a sense of mystery and ancient wisdom. The program positions itself as resurrecting forgotten knowledge, but there's little in the way of independently verifiable historical evidence to back up the specific claims, apart from the allure of ancient lore.
And that's the classic play in the personal development space, mixing scientific-sounding language with mystical concepts to create a persuasive narrative.
Exactly. It's like selling a vintage secret recipe where the ingredients may sound ancient and profound, but there's no actual recipe book available for verification.
Yeah.
Just a very compelling story.
Which, to be fair, appeals to a niche that finds the journey as intriguing as the destination. But it does put extra pressure on buyers to, trust intuition over hard evidence.
Right, and that's why the article advises buyers to ask critical questions before choosing to try this program. They suggest considering whether you're open to a blend of alternative concepts with standard personal development practices, and whether you genuinely integrate a 7-minute audio session into your daily life, as opposed to letting it become another unused tool.
It sounds like a matter of personal fit. If someone's already struggling with maintaining more interactive routines, this could be a low-effort experiment. However, if someone is searching for a method backed by rigorous scientific study, they might want to look elsewhere.
Definitely. And while the refund policy is reassuring, it's important to remember that the product exists within a competitive space of sound-based personal development. There are free alternatives online, but the program charges a fee for this very specific curated experience, which may or may not provide a different level of engagement.
Now, there's also the matter of the affiliate links. The article is clear that commissions might be earned if a purchase is made. Do you see that as impacting the honesty of the review?
It can introduce a conflict of interest, but the disclosure is upfront. The review urges readers to evaluate based on the product's merits, rather than the promise of a commission. So while it might color the narrative slightly, it's a common practice in digital reviews.
That's a good point. Transparency is key, and when disclosures are made, the burden remains on the buyer to assess the pros and cons.
Exactly. And it circles back to the point that personal development tools are not one size fits all. The product might work wonders for one person by reinforcing a daily routine, while for another, the lack of scientific proof or active engagement might render it ineffective. It's all very subjective.
And that subjectivity is central to personal development in general. Even well-established techniques yield mixed results depending on many factors like mindset, environment, and consistency.
True. To sum up, the Alexandria Code offers an intriguing, low-commitment daily audio practice that leans on historical mystique and alternative neuroscience claims. It's perfect for those who prefer passive routines and enjoy a bit of ancient flavor. But if you lean towards evidence-based interventions or active methods, you might need to weigh its value carefully before investing.
Well, that really encapsulates it. It's an experiment in mindset for those curious enough to try it, rather than a guarantee for transformation. Time and personal experience will tell if this ancient frequency actually delivers on its promise, or just another sound in the silence of self-help.